Last year, I crossed over six figures selling used clothing online. No employees, no warehouse, just hitting the racks, consistent listing, and staying on my grind. So in this video, I'm going to tell you all just exactly why I did it, how I did it, and what sold on the way to help me get over that $100,000 mark. So first and foremost, welcome to Your Fly Supply. I am your host, Jamario Rashad. I am a going on this is going to be my third year reselling. I'm going to bring you all along on my journey, as well as hopefully provide you all with some useful and important information for some people out there looking to get into this space and hopefully just make a little bit of cash on the side or something to supplement your already established income. So without any of that, or now that that's all out of the way, let's go ahead and let me get into telling you why exactly I am doing what I'm doing. Why did I choose to grind so hard that I was able to get over that hard to reach $100,000 mark? Well, first and foremost, I started my adult life immediately upon graduating college with a tremendous amount of debt, trying to work my way, not only not getting into corporate America or get into my chosen field. Like many college students, that is the story of a lot of people. I know that I'm not alone in that, but it took me 4 to 5 years to even establish myself in corporate America, get a job along the lines of something that I could actually support myself, get out here and actually begin to feel like an adult. And ever since I discovered reselling, it's not as though I have just been holding on. I'm not just, living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not just able to, pay for what I'm doing on. I'm actually able to work my way out of that tremendous debt that I mentioned that I started with. And that is the avenue, or reselling is the avenue that is allowing me to do that so effectively, even though I am a bit older than when I was when I first got out of college. Now, after that, I'm a natural hustler. I see other people doing things, and I am not somebody that's going to be timid or feel as though that I can't accomplish what I see other people accomplishing. I was not somebody that was fortunate enough to get on the reselling boom during the events that happened in the early 2020s. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about, when a lot of these channels popped up and a lot of these people were influenced to finally get out there and start. I did this as a method that it just crossed my mind one day. I started looking at YouTube videos. I saw that people were able to do it, and I said, you know what, I can do that as well. Reading the comment section and reading all the horror stories of videos being 5, 6, 7 years old talking about, eBay's dead, you can't make any money. All of that is complete hogwash. That's complete BS. I didn't believe it, and 2 years later, I am on my way to heading into my second consecutive $100,000 sales year. And finally, as I mentioned, it gave me the opportunity to take back control of my life. I didn't like the feeling of knowing that I went to work. I had a set amount of money that I was gonna make. If I work this many hours, my paycheck is gonna look like this, and with that amount of money, I'm gonna be able to pay for A, B, and C. It felt like, although I was alive, I was on a treadmill that it didn't really feel like I was living. It just felt like I was existing. And now that I've had this influx of cash by just the addition of reselling, my entire life has changed tenfold, and I could not be more appreciative for what reselling has been able to bring in my life. Now, how exactly was I able to do this? Now, I had three main sources, that being your most popular nationwide thrift stores that I'm pretty sure everybody has heard about: Goodwill, Salvation Army, as well as the Value Village. All three of these places were my, 98% of what I sold throughout 2025 came from these places. I understand that there are a lot of people that like to go to the Goodwill bins. Me, myself, unfortunately, I have no ill will or nothing negative to say about individuals that shop from the bins, but me, I just can't do it. It feels dirty in there. I hate the way I just can't do it. So these actual retail setup stores, I'm able to deal with a lot more. And in my area, they were able to be very fruitful for me, man. So what exactly was the breakdown of that $100,000 where I sold on 4 total platforms, but the two big dogs right here that made the majority of that 100K were eBay as well as Poshmark. On eBay in 2025, as you can see, I had over 3,100 sales that equated to $88,064 in total sales on eBay, and an additional 18,000, let's basically round that up to 19,000 sales on Poshmark as well. I also sell on Depop. I'm also adding Mercari. I know I'm late on that, but hey, anything helps. But these were the two driving forces behind my 100K earnings in 2025. Now, what exactly was I doing when I went to those places, and what did I pick up to get to that $100 mark? Now, you're going to listen to a lot of YouTubers, and I'm not going to be one of those YouTubers that tells you to go out there and when you go to the thrift store, just spend as much time as you can trying to find the most valuable thing that you can. I went out there, I took that advice, and I found myself stuck for the majority of the beginning portion of my reseller journey, while I was still trying to build up a growing inventory and trying to just establish myself on getting daily sales. Going out there each and every day and just trying to find these home run items was not something that was actually feasible for me. And I'm not just talking like, oh, saying I can't do it, and no, I actually went out there, practically tried it, and it didn't work. So I'm speaking from experience here. But what I was able to do is realize that I was not able to go out there and turn $5 into 50 consistently. But once I was able to understand what is the sales structure of these places that I'm going to, when is half off, or when is a senior day that I could possibly bring somebody to, like, once you establish all of those things, you understand, then you get a consistent flow of when you go, and you start to understand that I may not be able to turn 5 into 50. And if I do, I may be able to do that once every few months. But what I can do is turn this $3.50 into $18 about 10 times over. I can turn this $5 into about $20 about 10 times over. This $3 into 15 about 15 times over. So volume and consistency was what built my store up, and gave me the ability to be able to have these consistent sales on a week-to-week basis, man. So as I was saying, consistency and volume over banger. So what exactly sold best for me? If you look at my breakdown here of what sold throughout the year, you could see that almost 35, nearly 40% of my sales throughout the year came from these 5 specific brands right here. And honestly, Polo Ralph Lauren would have beaten out Nike had all of the Polo Ralph Lauren brands fallen under the same umbrella of technical brand name on these websites. So on eBay, you have Lauren Ralph Lauren, just Ralph Lauren, Ralph Lauren, Denim Supply. If you added up all of that, I had nearly 400 sold of Polo Ralph Lauren, which is something that you go out and find every day, as well as nearly 300 sold of Nike, which is what people throw out and like it's nothing. If you can find those middle tier, and I hate to use the term bread and butter because I feel like it's a bit overused. If you can go out there and find those consistent base hits, those consistent hits, that is how you can establish yourself as somebody that is able to do this to the tune of $100,000. I still hold down a full-time job. For complete transparency, I do not have children. I am about to be married, so I have a fiance. I have a dog, for whatever that counts. But I do hold down a full-time job, and I am still able to do this on the side. So with all that being said, I think that you all would be able to do that as well. I'm not going out there finding all of these amazing jackets or just a lot of electronics. You see the basic bread and butter basics right there: pants, jeans, sweaters, casual button downs, and college stuff. I'm literally going out there and I'm racking up the base hits. But at the end of the day, if you can rack up enough base hits, I promise you the score will weigh out in your favor, man. But that is all I have to say in this first video. I appreciate any and everybody that is tuning in for me in my first foray into trying to build this YouTube channel under the umbrella of my reselling business. So with that being said, man, I'm going to leave it there. I am Jamario Rashad. This is your Fly Supply, and I'm out. Peace.